Since I bought this Ferrari, we've never been able to get it started.
Turn on.
How can I help you? How can I help you?
We can't have it on site just because Ferrari is so strict.
Most people think that once they pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for a dream car, it becomes theirs to use, repair, and enjoy however they want. That sounds simple enough. After all, ownership should mean control. But what if one warning light on the dashboard could completely change that idea? What if a car worth more than most homes refused to start, not because its engine was destroyed, but because only the manufacturer had the tools and information needed to solve the problem? That is exactly what happened when famous automotive YouTuber Mat Armstrong bought a heavily crashed Ferrari 296 GTB with one goal in mind: bringing it back to life. At first, the project looked like another exciting rebuild that millions of fans had come to expect from his channel. Mat already made a name for himself by rescuing vehicles that many experts believed were beyond repair. He had rebuilt luxury cars, sports cars, and even some of the world's rarest supercars. Every new project seemed bigger than the last, and every successful rebuild proved that damaged vehicles could often be saved with enough skill, patience, and determination. Naturally, when people heard he had purchased a wrecked Ferrari 296 GTB, they expected another incredible success story. Instead, what followed became one of the most talked about automotive controversies on the internet. The Ferrari looked almost perfect after months of repairs. The body panels were replaced, the paint shined like new, expensive parts had been installed, and the car appeared ready to drive. But looks can be deceiving. Every time Mat tried to start the Ferrari, the same message appeared on the dashboard. It simply refused to come alive. No matter how many parts were replaced or how much money was spent, the problem remained. That single warning message became the center of a much bigger debate involving Ferrari, modern technology, repair rights, and the future of car ownership itself. Fans around the world began asking difficult questions. Why wouldn't the Ferrari start? Why was such an expensive car impossible to repair? Was the problem mechanical, electrical, or something hidden deep inside its advanced hybrid system? Even more importantly, many people wonder why Ferrari seemed to be the only company capable of providing the answers. As weeks turned into months, the mystery grew larger. Social media exploded with theories. Some believed Ferrari was protecting its technology. Others argued the company was simply following strict safety rules. A few even claimed that Mat's previous public comments about other supercar manufacturers had created tension behind the scenes. Whether those theories were true or not, one fact remained impossible to ignore. A modern supercar had become completely dependent on its manufacturer, showing just how different today's vehicles are compared to those built only a few decades ago. Unlike older cars that skilled mechanics could repair with ordinary tools, modern high-performance machines rely heavily on software, sensors, computers, and encrypted electronic systems. Even a tiny fault in one electronic component can stop an entire vehicle from operating normally. This Ferrari rebuild was no longer just another exciting YouTube project. It slowly transformed into a real-world example of one of the biggest debates happening across the automotive industry today. Who truly controls a vehicle after it has been sold? Is it the owner who paid for it, or the company that built it? That question reaches far beyond Ferrari. It affects everyday drivers, independent repair shops, and manufacturers around the world. As technology becomes more advanced, more vehicles depend on software updates, security systems, digital keys, and manufacturer-approved diagnostic equipment. The Ferrari 296 GTB simply brought this issue into the spotlight because of its enormous price, worldwide popularity, and the millions of viewers following every step of the rebuild. Throughout this remarkable journey, viewers watched hope rise and fall again and again. Every new repair created excitement, only for another obstacle to appear. Every solution seemed to create another mystery. Instead of becoming another straightforward restoration project, the Ferrari became a symbol of modern automotive challenges, raising important questions about ownership, technology, and the future of vehicle repairs. It also reminded millions of people that rebuilding a crashed supercar is no longer just about replacing damaged metal or repainting body panels. Today, success often depends on unlocking hidden digital systems that only manufacturers fully understand. What began as one ambitious rebuild soon turned into one of the most fascinating stories in the automotive world. proving that sometimes the biggest battles are not fought with engines and tools, but with software, electronics, and access to information. Long before the Ferrari 296 GTB became the center of worldwide attention, Mat Armstrong had already built a reputation for doing what many people believed was impossible. His story did not begin with million-dollar supercars or luxury sports cars. It started with a simple passion for fixing damaged vehicles and proving that cars others consider hopeless could be given a second chance. Before becoming one of the biggest automotive creators on YouTube, Mat spent years as a professional BMX rider. That career taught him discipline, patience, and the importance of never giving up after failure. Those same qualities later became the foundation of his success in the automotive world. Instead of opening a traditional repair shop, he decided to document every step of his rebuilding projects on YouTube. At first, only a small number of viewers followed his work, but people quickly realized they were watching something very different from ordinary car videos. Rather than buying perfect vehicles, Mat searched for badly damaged cars that insurance companies had already written off as total losses. Most people saw piles of broken metal, but Mat saw opportunities. His first major projects involved affordable sports cars that could be repaired without spending enormous amounts of money. Each successful rebuild taught him new skills while also building trust with his audience. Viewers enjoyed watching complicated repairs explained in simple language, and they appreciated seeing both the successes and the failures. Unlike television programs that often skip difficult moments, Mat showed the real problems that happened during every project. If something broke, the audience saw it. If a repair failed, viewers experienced the disappointment alongside him. This honest style helped his channel grow faster than anyone expected. As his experience increased, so did the value of the vehicles he purchased. Soon he was rebuilding luxury brands like Audi, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Bentley, Porsche, Aston Martin, and Lamborghini. Every project attracted more viewers because each challenge seemed bigger than the one before. One of the most important milestones came when he successfully rebuilt a badly damaged Bentley Continental GT during the COVID-19 pandemic. Many people believed that luxury car would never return to the road, yet after months of careful work it drove again. That success dramatically increased the popularity of his channel. Millions of viewers began following every new upload, eager to see whether another impossible rebuild could actually succeed. The pattern continued with flooded SUVs, crash performance cars, and expensive supercars that most repair shops would refuse to touch. Over time, Mat's audience grew into the millions, and his videos collected billions of views across multiple platforms. His channel became more than simple entertainment. It became a place where ordinary people could learn about engineering, problem-solving, modern vehicle technology, and the incredible amount of work hidden behind professional car restorations. His projects also demonstrated that determination often matters as much as expensive equipment. Of course, larger projects also brought larger risks. Every damaged supercar represented hundreds of thousands of dollars tied up in parts, labor, and unexpected repairs. If a project failed, the financial loss could be enormous. But those risks were exactly what made people keep watching. Every new episode carried genuine uncertainty because nobody, not even Mat himself, could predict whether the vehicle would ever run again. Before buying the Ferrari 296 GTB, he had already rebuilt another Ferrari, the powerful 812 Superfast. That project gave him valuable experience working with Ferrari's unique engineering, repair procedures, and parts network. Unlike many independent builders, he already understood that Ferrari follows very strict rules regarding replacement parts, approved repair centers, and factory standards. Those earlier experiences helped prepare him for the challenge ahead, although nothing could have fully prepared him for what the Ferrari 296 GTB would eventually become. Around the same period, another ambitious project captured worldwide attention, a heavily damaged Bugatti Chiron. Rebuilding one of the world's most expensive hypercars brought an entirely new level of publicity. During that project, discussions about replacement parts, manufacturing policies, and modern repair restrictions attracted widespread attention from automotive fans and industry experts alike. Many viewers began debating whether owners of ultra-expensive vehicles should have greater freedom to repair and modify their own cars instead of depending completely on manufacturers. Those conversations made Mat Armstrong more than just a YouTube creator. He slowly became one of the most recognizable faces in the growing discussion about modern vehicle ownership and repair rights. By the time the Ferrari 296 GTB arrived in his workshop, millions of people already trusted his experience and expected another remarkable success story. Very few realized that this rebuild would become his most controversial challenge yet, raising questions that extended far beyond one broken Ferrari and reaching into the future of the entire automotive industry. When the Ferrari 296 GTB finally arrived at Mat Armstrong's workshop, it was immediately clear that this would not be an ordinary repair job. The car had already been involved in a serious accident before being imported, and the damage was severe enough that many people believed it would never return to the road. At first glance, the Ferrari looked like a complete disaster. The front section had suffered major impact damage. Several body panels were badly bent. Important structural parts needed attention, and many expensive components either had to be repaired or completely replaced. Most owners would have looked at the vehicle once, contacted their insurance company, and moved on. Even experienced repair shops might have refused to take on such a difficult project because modern Ferraris are among the most complicated performance cars in the world. The Ferrari 296 GTB is not simply powered by a traditional gasoline engine. It combines a powerful twin-turbocharged V6 engine with an advanced hybrid system, creating more than 800 horsepower through a combination of mechanical engineering and highly sophisticated electronics. While this technology delivers incredible speed and performance, it also makes repairs much more difficult than those on older sports cars. Every major component communicates with dozens of electronic control units, sensors, safety systems, and encrypted software. If even one important system fails to communicate correctly, the vehicle may refuse to operate at all. That complexity would soon become the biggest obstacle in the entire rebuild. Before beginning repairs, Matt carefully inspected the damaged Ferrari to understand exactly what needed attention. Like every project on his channel, the process started with removing broken parts, checking the chassis, inspecting suspension components, and searching for hidden damage that could not be seen from the outside. Anyone who has repaired accident-damaged vehicles knows that visible damage often represents only a small part of the real problem. A crash powerful enough to destroy body panels can also affect wiring, sensors, cooling systems, suspension geometry, and dozens of other hidden components. Finding every damaged part takes patience, experience, and careful investigation. Fortunately, Matt had developed those skills through years of rebuilding vehicles that many professionals had already given up on. Slowly, the Ferrari began to look alive again. New body panels replaced crushed metal. Damaged mechanical parts were repaired or exchanged for new ones. Fresh paint restored the beautiful appearance that Ferrari is famous for around the world. Day by day, viewers watched the car transform from what looked like a pile of scrap into a supercar that appeared almost factory fresh. Looking at the finished exterior, nobody would have guessed the enormous challenges still hiding beneath the surface. To almost everyone watching, the hardest work seemed finished. The Ferrari looked complete. The wheels were installed, the body gaps looked correct, the paint reflected the workshop lights perfectly, and the vehicle once again looked worthy of wearing the famous Ferrari badge. It seemed like only one small step remained, pressing the start button and hearing the engine roar back to life. That moment was supposed to become one of the most exciting scenes in the entire rebuild. Instead, it became the beginning of a mystery that nobody expected. The instant Matt attempted to start the Ferrari, the dashboard displayed a warning message that changed everything. Instead of the powerful engine coming to life, the electronics reported a serious hybrid system failure. The car refused to start, and no amount of basic troubleshooting changed the result. At first, the problem did not seem impossible. Modern vehicles sometimes display warning messages after major repairs, especially when batteries have been disconnected or electronic modules require recalibration. Many experienced mechanics expected the issue to disappear after replacing damaged components or performing standard diagnostic procedures. However, every attempt ended exactly the same way. The warning remained. The Ferrari stayed silent. As more time passed, frustration began replacing excitement. New parts were installed, electrical systems were checked repeatedly, and every reasonable repair idea was tested. Still, nothing worked. What had started as a normal restoration project slowly transformed into an investigation filled with unanswered questions. Why would a Ferrari that looked almost completely repaired refuse to start? Was there hidden crash damage buried deep inside the hybrid system? Had an important electronic control unit failed? Or was there another problem nobody had discovered yet? Every failed attempt only increased the mystery, and millions of viewers following the project became more curious with every new episode. Instead of celebrating another successful rebuild, Mat Armstrong found himself facing one of the biggest technical puzzles of his entire career, a puzzle that would eventually grow far beyond one broken supercar and spark a worldwide discussion about technology, manufacturer control, and the future of repairing modern high-performance vehicles. As the weeks passed, the excitement surrounding the Ferrari rebuild slowly turned into frustration. Every new repair brought fresh hope, but every attempt to start the car ended in the same disappointing way. The dashboard continued showing the hybrid system warning, and the engine remained completely silent. For many viewers, this was the first time they had seen a project where money, experience, and hard work were not enough to solve the problem. Normally, Mat Armstrong's rebuilds followed a familiar pattern. A damaged vehicle arrived at the workshop, broken parts were removed, new components were installed, unexpected challenges appeared along the way, and finally the engine started, giving viewers a satisfying ending they had been waiting for. This Ferrari refused to follow that pattern. Instead of moving closer to success, the project seemed trapped in the same place no matter how much progress was made. Every episode ended with more questions and answers, making the rebuild one of the most unpredictable stories on the channel. The biggest challenge was that there was no obvious mechanical failure to fix. If an engine block is cracked, it can be replaced. If a suspension arm is bent, a new one can be installed. If a radiator leaks, the damaged part can be removed and another fitted in its place. But electronic problems are very different. Modern supercars are filled with computers that constantly communicate with one another. One small fault can create warning messages across several different systems, making it extremely difficult to identify the original source of the problem. Sometimes a failed sensor can trigger multiple error codes that have nothing to do with the actual issue. Other times, a damaged control module may stop communicating entirely, leaving mechanics with very little useful information. This is one reason why diagnosing advanced hybrid vehicles often takes much longer than repairing older sports cars. As Matt continued searching for answers, he replaced and tested component after component. Wiring was inspected carefully. Batteries were checked. Electrical connections were examined. Diagnostic equipment was used repeatedly in an effort to understand what the Ferrari was trying to communicate. Yet every test seemed to lead back to the same frustrating result. The warning stayed on, and the car refused to wake up. Viewers began suggesting their own ideas in the comment section. Some believed the hybrid battery had failed. Others suspected hidden crash damage somewhere deep inside the electrical system. A few thought software corruption might be preventing the car from starting. Every new upload created thousands of discussions, with experienced mechanics, Ferrari owners, engineers, and ordinary car enthusiasts sharing their own theories. The mystery became almost as entertaining as the rebuild itself, because nobody could confidently explain what was happening. At the same time, another problem started becoming increasingly clear. Even if Matt could identify the faulty system, solving it might require help that only Ferrari could provide. Unlike older vehicles, many modern supercars use factory software that independent workshops cannot fully access. Certain control units require manufacturer authorization before they can be programmed or paired with a vehicle. Some replacement parts must also be electronically matched to a specific car before they function correctly. These security measures are designed to protect advanced technology, reduce theft, and maintain vehicle safety, but they also create serious challenges for independent repairers. This was where the Ferrari rebuild began moving beyond simple mechanical work and entered a much larger discussion about who truly controls modern vehicles. Many viewers believe that if someone legally owns a car, they should also have a right to repair it however they choose. Others argue that companies like Ferrari have a responsibility to protect their technology, maintain safety standards, and prevent incorrect repairs that could endanger drivers. Both sides had valid arguments, and the Ferrari project suddenly became a real-life example of that debate. As the months continued, the financial pressure also increased. Every delay meant additional costs. New parts had to be purchased. More hours were spent diagnosing problems instead of completing the rebuild. Expensive workshop space remained occupied by a car that could not move under its own power. Unlike a hobby project sitting quietly in someone's garage, this Ferrari represented a major business investment. Successful rebuilds help generate views, attract sponsors, and support future projects. But a vehicle that never starts could easily become a financial disaster. Even so, Mat refused to give up. His determination became one of the biggest reasons people continued watching. Viewers were no longer interested only in seeing a Ferrari repaired. They wanted to know whether persistence could overcome technology that seemed almost impossible to defeat. Every failed attempt increased the suspense, and every new clue brought fresh hope that the mystery would finally be solved. The rebuild had evolved into something much greater than fixing a damaged supercar. It had become a test of patience, skill, determination, and the growing relationship between modern technology and the people who own it. Just when the rebuild seemed difficult enough, the project took another unexpected turn that made everything even more complicated. Instead of simply restoring the Ferrari 296 GTB to its original factory condition, Mat Armstrong decided to make the car even more special by giving it a race-inspired appearance. For many automotive enthusiasts, rebuilding a damaged supercar is already an incredible achievement. But Mat wanted to push the project beyond a normal repair. His goal was not only to make the Ferrari run again, but also to create something unique that would stand out from every standard 296 GTB on the road. To do that, he began ordering genuine Ferrari 296 challenge components, the same type of parts